I've worked in the Southern Adelaide Health Network for just over 8 years now. I've overseen a lot of different programs and I've been privileged to work with a lot of different people. And the guy today that I'll be presenting is a consumer. His name's Nick, and I was privileged to be able to work with him for about a year. And this is a guy that's used the Western way, medication, counselling. And when I started working with him, he asked, "Hey, does your people have any teachings that you could teach me?" And I said, "Yeah." And I guess this is our story.
But in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. Howdy, my name's Nick and I'm here to discuss my experiences with SA Health. The services I've accessed in the southern areas of Adelaide are the Adair Clinic, the Moria Ward and the Noongar Hospital. I would have to say that I have told my story either pushing or above the 100 mark. When I was a child, I didn't really have any bearing or any focus on the SA mental health system. It wasn't until early adulthood that I had encounters with the health system. I didn't interact with the health system by choice, firstly. I was made to stay in hospital. That made me feel quite powerless and sort of helpless. It sort of felt to me like I was in a car and I didn't know where it was going and there was some stranger driving it. I was sort of feeling isolated and separated from the community. I stopped playing football because of my back injury. I felt certain parts of the system have changed over time to this point. And when I first stepped into the Trevor Parry Centre, which is a community rehab centre, I was, I had my concerns about the setup and the sort of people that I would interact with. But yeah, when I arrived, I looked at the facilities and the way the units were set up, and I was greeted by the staff and they helped me move in all my stuff to my bedroom, and they were, quite exuberant and sort of uplifting kind of people, and it sort of started to change my skepticism of the situation that I'd be faced with and the living circumstances I'd be under. At this particular rehab centre, they had programs running. Sometimes there were, like once a week, there were cooking classes, a couple of yoga classes, we had fitness sessions. There were mental health staff there 24/7. I was living at TPC for quite a while, and there was a guy, an Indigenous guy there that ran a few classes. I was lucky enough to have him take his time to explain and teach me some of the ways that their culture would, help people in their recovery. I did an Aboriginal exercise called deep listening, which involved me just sitting and listening to myself. I was able to listen to my thoughts, focus on my breathing, how my skin felt, and as a result I was able to feel calm and relaxed and at peace. I went to see a Nunkari, which is an Aboriginal healer. He came towards me and he didn't touch me. He held his hands at a distance away from me and performed some sort of healing. It did have an effect, I think. It gave me a feeling as if I was taking back control of my healthcare, and I found I was able to lay down in bed more comfortably. Another thing that I spent time with the Indigenous man at Trevor Parry Centre doing was narrative therapy. Narrative therapy is that a person's life is made up of multiple little stories, and one story that might not be one that you're proud of does not make you that labelled. Like, for instance, I'm not my illness. My name's Nick and I have a certain illness. But I'm also a guitarist, a student, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm an animal lover, I'm an adventurist, at times I'm a beach bum, I'm easygoing, I'm just a lover of life, I'm just high on life. And I was taught by the Aboriginal man that is very important to me is to have connection to country and land. I was given a model of what's called a tree of life, where I was told that the roots, as they are in the case of the tree, are the symbol for the foundation of your life. The trunk is your strengths, what keeps you strong, and the fruit is your ambitions. The ground is where I live right now. Branches represent who is who and who is important to me, and the branches also represent my future direction. That made me think over again what my true connection to the earth and sort of all those natural things that make you sort of feel more alive, I guess. And for me, that's the beach or the water at the ocean or a pool. Even just sitting at the beach and looking out to the horizon has healing properties. It's therapeutic for me. Anything that seems to be stressing me out, it's the sort of place that even when I think about makes me feel relaxed and calm. TPC were great. They more than accommodating and even drove us down there. And I found that working with the Aboriginal model, I guess, that I found that I was finally listened to and felt more confident in my own ability to take more power of my own healthcare. I've come across many different approaches in my life, some of which have been useful, some have not. I've not found useful for me, but with the Aboriginal teachings I had, I found, I was listened to. I felt like I was treated just as a person, not as someone who needed help. For me, I find that music is the best kind of therapy. I've played electric guitar since I was age of 11, and I love Basically any kind of music with a loud, heavy guitar and some fast, loud drums. Thank you for listening to my interpretation of my experiences with the SA Health system.